which most of our leaders, they're even scared right now to oppose the alphabet agenda. They're scared to oppose because I want us to talk a little bit, my brother, about this agenda of LGBTQ.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah, because we're having this conversation area, and I even mentioned that, you know, they're not doing the same thing to Arabs. They're not pushing this agenda. But why specifically to Africa? They're targeting Africa, even telling us that, you know what, if you don't accept this, you're not gonna have what? There'll be no aids, there'll be no loans. That's why we have to sanction ourselves.
We have to sanction ourselves.
Yes, and also right now, you were sharing this with me yesterday and today, but I knew this before.
Yes.
And what I knew is that right now, what is happening? Even these NGOs that are in Africa, their secret agenda is to push that agenda of LGBTQ. Yeah. That is their secret agenda that they do here in Tanzania. I'll tell you the truth. It's not even in the closet. The leader of this country, one of the leader of this country, was talking about it. Tanzanians knows about it already.
Okay.
That kids have been trained and this and this. I mean, not like everything was just on the open space. Everybody knows. But this is not just in one country, but in the entire continent of Africa. There's this secret movement through NGOs. They are pushing this agenda slowly. And what is so hard, and that's why kudos to Uganda for what President Museveni did, because
and
when
Ghana
as well,
100% of their parliament said, "Hey,
absolutely, they say that
the Supreme Court on a technicality, turned it down." They came back, 100% said, "No, sir."
They say no, and I shared it here in Kenya. Even the president also said that, and they're talking about it.
Yes.
It's
Zambia, the people, yes,
exactly. Zambia as well. This is disgusting. First of all, when you think about the kids, the families, when you think about how the family should be, and when you think about even because even later in the future, I was talking about this the other day that when you have this is radical truth, so I'm gonna be radical.
Please.
I was talking about this the other day that the way that God designed man and woman, He knew that you're not just gonna be like making love from Monday to another Monday, January to December, because there's things like period, there's things like pregnancy. Like there's a way that God created this balance naturally, that you're not just gonna your relationship with you, husband and wife, is not just gonna be about sex, but it's gonna be about relationship, about you two people. But this agenda, what is happening if it's a guy and a guy?
Let's call it alphabet agenda. Remember that algorithm?
Exactly, alphabet. Yeah. So from January to December to another January, the only thing that you focus on is in sex. And also you have another thing that adoption of kids. Like these people these days, they can adopt kids, and these kids have been raised in the environment that they don't get to experience love from both parents, maybe mom and dad. So they grow up confused, and also eventually they'll become
identifying with
exactly. So at the end of the day, where we're going is that we are not gonna have kids anymore.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
We're not gonna have families anymore.
Exactly, and that's the large part of the agenda. So when we came here, using Tanzania as an example, Tanzania had 61.5 million people.
Yeah.
Now it's 67 million plus people. The growth rate was 2.97%. You have Uganda, you have Tanzania, you have so many so-called sub-Saharan African countries have a positive growth rate. That's not only replacing the population. You need 2.1 babies statistically, right? 0.1 baby, what's that? Anyway, to maintain your population.
Yeah.
Anything above that, you're adding to the population. Do you know that that's like the worst sin or crime as far as the West is concerned? With Africa? Because remember now, Africa is going to have That's their crime. As far as they're concerned, you see, what this alphabet agenda does, like you said, is it's a way of cutting down the population.
Exactly.
Reducing the population. So you have the stuff that you're doing using fake science and medicine.
Yeah.
Then you have this agenda, the alphabet agenda. Then you have the stuff that you're spraying in the sky, which only now Africans are beginning to understand what that's about. But in the West, they're doing that. And yeah, there's a lot of that. We are in a war, and it's a multifaceted war.
Yeah.
And this agenda, this alphabet agenda, is a huge part of it. If you don't reproduce, like you said, then what happens?
Yeah.
So what is happening now is that they are hoping to not only reduce the population using this agenda, but now they want you to identify as a gender different than who you are. Then the next step, they want to do what is called transhumanism.
Yeah.
And transhumanism is that, okay, now I'm no longer a human, just a human. I'm a human and I'm a machine as well. Neuralink.
Yeah. That's what is happening right now.
Yeah, I'm no longer a human being. I can identify as whatever. So, is Africa going for this one? Are we really going to go for that?
You're asking?
Yeah, I'm asking.
You know,
is there a chance that we might change our mind, because that's what they're hoping?
I know Africans will never accept that. The only issue and the problem that we have is, like, we have this leverage of these loads and aids, which most of our leaders, they're even scared right now to oppose the alphabet agenda. They're scared to oppose because of the backlash. What kind of backlash will come? And that's why you say it's important for us to sanction ourselves and to have that unity, because all these agendas are coming to us for one reason: to dehumanize us, because what is happening right now is dehumanization.
That's it.
It's dehumanization.
That's
and when you go to the West, the West is already broken. Too much.
Already dehumanized.
You can only come to Africa and see that, okay, these are human beings are living. That's why a lot of people are moving here. Not even black people, even Caucasian people moving back here.
They even moving to Zanzibar, of all places. Imagine.
Exactly.
To go to Zanzibar yourself.
Yeah.
You know, not just as visitors, but yes.
They're moving back because they can experience at least, okay, like at least Africa right now is still not corrupted this much. At least human beings are living here, and not to disrespect anybody else, but all these agendas that are happening is dehumanizing our people.
Anti-natural, anti-human.
Exactly. And because even the robotic right now, like robots and everything that is happening, man, when God created human being, man, your brain, you as a human being, is much better than even a computer. Not to say that we don't even need it. Your brain is so smart and bright than computer, than all these robots, than all these machines that we are creating today. Even the AI, the agenda that is happening right now. Yes, we can learn to take advantage of it, but you should never look down on yourself and think like there's something better that is coming than yourself.
Control.
Exactly.
See,
it's about controlling.
The whole thing is about control. It's about depopulation. It's about control. And the big question I have to ask is, who is in control? See, I keep going back to the same questions. What are they doing?
That's $1 million question.
It?
Yeah.
Why are they doing it? And once you know the answers to those three questions, the biggest question of them all is, what are we prepared to do about it to stop them? You see?
What are we prepared to do to stop them?
Stop them. So
it is possible.
It's like this agenda that was around when the previous administration was here. Okay, the way he stopped it by is, you don't comply with the first thing they come with, you don't comply. You don't comply with wearing the mask. That's the first thing. Yeah. What happened? Oh
no.
You don't
put the charge in my phone.
Okay. You don't comply with wearing the mask. That was the first thing. Once you comply with the mask, then they're gonna get you with every other one.
Absolutely.
You see?
Absolutely.
And so you don't comply with anything. And this is the thing that they're leading us towards. Now, am I against advancement? My background is in information technology.
Yes, so you know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it's information technology.
IT.
And I don't have a company now. Okay, I registered one, but it's not operational. All right, and it's not just information technology. In fact, it's not information technology, but I use that, and I will use that for what we are doing in agriculture when we get that started. My point is that somebody, and we know the bodies. We can call the names.
Yeah,
we won't. There are people who want absolute control over everything, every life form, every human being, every continent. But the crown jewel, the prize, is Africa. When we Africans on the continent and the diaspora realize that the prize is Africa, then we have decisions to make. And we don't have until 2063 to make those decisions. We have to make the decision now.
Right now.
Now is the appointed time. This is not religion. This is not hate. That's not racism.
No, man. That's why. Let me just say this. That's why, African descendants, you must come back home to protect this land. It will take all of us. It will take the local Africans. It will take you as well, because you guys, you have knowledge. You guys, you know how the world works outside there. You've been part of it for a while, and for a while,
yes.
Exactly. But the time has come, and the time is now to defend the motherland, because the other part of the earth has been destroyed already. It's been corrupted already. Don't let nobody tell you that your continent has corrupt leaders, it has this and this and that. It's just the little agendas to make you guys not come back home. But we've all seen how many people have been killed. You can start from Gaddafi, you can start from Sankara, Pierre Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah. You can name all of these people. How many people, like how much, how desperate they are, that if someone like you or like me stand up and start speaking this truth. And we have seen even in the Western countries, how many people have received backlash, been cancelled because of just this black consciousness, because of what we are talking here today. And if you do not understand that, I mean, all the evidence are out there.
They're not afraid of black consciousness, you know. And now, for those of you who are listening, don't get offended. Please listen and hear my heart, okay? They're not afraid of black consciousness. If by black consciousness you mean that we recognize that we are all black people, we are all Africans. That doesn't frighten them. You know what frightens them? Is knowing who we are and doing something about it. And know where we come from and doing something about taking responsibility for its development. And that's Africa. We can be as conscious as we want, but if we do nothing about it, they will let us talk. They will let us talk. They will let us talk and talk and talk. What you are calling for, what I've heard you call for, what people like Ronald Dalton Jr., right, Hebrews and Negroes, what he's calling for. People like you have Jacoba and Theo for Theo Ministries. You have people like Pastor Stephen Darby. You have people like Dante Fortson, right? You have people like Benayah Israel. I don't know if any of these names you've heard before. Some of them you've heard.
I did.
Okay, great. And there are others that are unknown. People who have just been under the radar, right? For decades, literally, that people don't know about. When we decide to do, and it has started. We've decided to start to do, but all of us have to do it. We have to do it together. We can't come and do it. You can't do it by yourself. We have, the two sticks have to come together. Okay, we're not talking religion. And when we come together, that's what they're afraid of. That's why they killed Malcolm X. That's why they killed Martin Luther King. That's why they killed Gaddafi. And he wasn't even indigenous, he was an Arab. But he was doing some good. Okay, great good. And he was going to mess with their banking system. And they said, no, we have to get rid of this guy. Okay? We can call names. We can go very close to home. We'll leave that one alone for other reasons. My point is this. Black consciousness should lead us to self-identification. And self-identification by necessity must lead us to action. Because when you identify yourself and you know who you are and you know what has happened to you, then you realize that Africa is not going forward unless Africans take it forward.
Absolutely.
Until Africans return to the ancient path.
Yeah.
And take ownership over where we are and where we need to be.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to do it for us, my brother. Nobody's coming to do it for us. Please, if you remember anything we say, remember this. No one is coming to give you the Africa you want.
Yeah.
They're coming to build the Africa they're going to take from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And you have the ability. You have it. But if you don't know who you are, you will not know what your purpose and destiny is.
The fight for liberation and for Africa did not stop after independence. It actually began after independence.
Because the independence we think we have, we never really have.
We don't have it.
It was just a stepping stone. We were
don't have
supposed to, but we allowed. You know, brother, I will say this about this alphabet agenda.
Yeah.
So they want to reduce the population. They want to stop us from. But why? See, again, this is the what.
Yes.
They're doing. But let's talk about why.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that based on the birth rate of Africans, they like to use the term Black Africans. You know, that's a problematic term. But the population rates across the board in sub-Saharan Africa and the African diaspora, in spite of abortion, in spite of the bad quality of the food, in spite of everything, we are growing to the point where in 2045 we will be 25% of the world's population.
Oh, yeah.
If nothing else changes.
Yeah.
I say it will be more because of what they did for the past 3 years. Okay, we're going to be much higher than 25. But based on their estimates before their agenda started 3 years ago, the population is projected to be 1 in 4 persons walking the face of this earth will be African, sub-Saharan African.
That reminded me of.
I wanna, but yeah, and then 2100. They're saying they're going to be 40%. I want to ask a question. Do you, listening or watching, believe that those people are comfortable with those statistics?
Not at all.
And that's the why. That's the why for what they're doing and have been doing. So if we do nothing, if we don't sanction ourselves, and by that we mean just imagine that we don't have any friends. We don't have anybody to look to come and help save us poor Africans. We're not poor.
We're never poor.
If we don't get to the place where we realize that we have to find solutions on our own, we have to make an assessment of what we have in the area of not just natural resources, but human resources on the planet. On the continent and off the continent. Then we'll never solve the problem. You know, Zimbabwe today, because of sanctions, Zimbabwe now produces enough wheat to feed itself to the point where they're getting ready to export wheat. Why? Because of sanctions. Nobody will sell to them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think if we get to the point where we say, you know what if we treated ourselves as though we were sanctioned? What can we do to solve our own problems? And tell those people who want the resources, if you want the resources, you have to come and actually wage war against us the conventional way and come and attack us and stop pretending. That's my problem I have.